All right, guys. So super excited to start this new series. I wanted to create this series around leadership because it's something, hopefully all of you guys know I'm super passionate about. In the introduction to this series, I want to share with you guys a program and a lesson that was taught to me a few years ago and once taught to me absolutely changed a lot of the way I think through my day. I think through a lot of the different things that helped me rapidly grow professionally, personally, spiritually, throughout all of these things. So the concept we're going to talk about today on this video and for the next 30 days is going to be around the 4 G's. Okay, so the 4 G's stand for gratefulness, goals, growth, and grace. Okay, so here's what I want you guys to do. Before we get started, we're going to all start this on July 1st, which is coming up here in a few days for us when I'm recording this. I want you guys to first sit down, and the number one thing I want you to start thinking about is your goals, okay? So before we even get into the big picture aspect and we talk about the other parts of it, I want you guys to all establish in the next 30 days, what do I want to accomplish? This is not a business training program, okay? This is a personal training program that goals might align with what you want to do in your professional or maybe spiritual or maybe in other things in your life. For me, when I started doing this, the growth I saw professionally was rapid, but it also helped me be a better father, it helped me be a better husband, it helped me in my spiritual path, it helped me grow in my relationships and friendships. This is a thing that will absolutely help you from a professional landscape, but I want you guys to use these tools to help you grow across the area. Okay, so before we go too deep into the 4 G's, I want you guys to, number one, say, here's my 30-day goal. I want you guys to place a 90-day goal, and then I want you guys to place an end-of-the-year goal. The good news is we've got about 6 months left in the year, so I want you guys to really call your shot. Before we do all that, before we get to goals, the first thing I want you guys to focus on every day is gratefulness. So how I would tell you to do the 4 G's and what's worked for me is I would say as soon as you guys wake up, before you get into your day, I would have you sit down at your desk in a quiet place without distractions. We're going to go through 10 things that you're grateful for. Now, at first, this gratefulness thing will probably be pretty easy for you. If you guys are like me, I've got a lot of things to be grateful for. I've got an amazing wife. I've got 2 amazing kids. I've got a large friend group. I've got a business I love doing and so many more things to be grateful for. But as you guys get into week 2 and week 3 and week 4, and hopefully way past this 30-day challenge, finding things to be grateful for will become more difficult for you. So the challenge I'll have for you in that is that instead of you guys sitting down and waiting until you sit down to think of 10 things to be grateful for, what really worked for me is to be grateful all day. So as you go into those meetings or you have that tough call or you have that difficult conversation with your kid because they had a bad day in school, be conscious around your mindset of finding things to be grateful for in the good and the bad, in what's happening to you and what's happening around you. If you are conscious around finding gratefulness, you change your relationship with everything going on. You'll change your relationship with the negativity and the way you're viewing your life as a negative aspect. Being conscious of the things I'm grateful for all day, throughout the day, making sure that when I sit down at my desk in the morning to come up with my 10 things, I already have a list of those, and maybe even some days more than 10. And that changed my reflection. It changed my mindset. It made me become somebody who looked at the bright side of everything that was going on in my life. The good days were something to be grateful for. I'm also going to tag in this a video that I love to watch. And it's a video by a guy named Jocko Willink, okay? One of the only really books I've ever read around leadership is a book called Extreme Ownership. And he has a video that introduced me to him. And if you go onto YouTube, you type in Jocko, Jocko, Willink, good. And if you watch that video, that is a video that I absolutely love, and especially for you guys on the sales side, dealing with a high volume of rejection. Everything that happens to you is good. Okay, so 10 things to be grateful for. We come up with a list every day. Don't wait until the morning. Do it the day before. As the day is going on throughout the day, you'll notice a change in your mindset when you complete this through the month. Okay, now the next thing we want to focus on is the goal. So we talked about setting a goal that is around 30 days, 90 days, and then 6 months. Okay, now those are great for you to track. Make them attainable. Now, what we're going to do every day is we're going to set goals every day. You guys have all of your own goals. You guys can establish how many goals, what you want them to be, how big, how small you want them to be. But I want you to set your result goal on the 30, 90, 180, and then I want you to do your daily goals as the actions that get you there. For instance, let's say some of you might say, I want to lose 10 pounds in the next 90 days. So your action goal is going to be the diet you choose to do, the exercise you commit to, the type of program that you're going to follow to get you to the losing of 10 pounds in 90 days. So every day, knowing what your big picture goals are, write them up on the wall, put them on your screensaver of your phone. Think about them every day. When you physically write it with a pen, you will make sure you hold yourself accountable to it. If it's just an idea, if it's just a thought, you will allow yourself to negotiate yourself out of it based off of how busy you get, how good of a day, how bad of a day, everything else is going on in your life. But if you write it down and make sure no day passes without you checking off every single goal, look at the actions every day that go into it. So every day you will write down goals. For me, I like to have at least 5 to 7 goals I set, which are in general around the overall goals. And once again, this is not just a professional challenge. So I want you guys to set goals to make you a better professional for sure, but also a better person, a better husband or boyfriend or girlfriend, a father, a mother, a child. This is the place for you to really sit down and consciously think through your goals. Okay. Now, the next part of your action is going to be around growth. So every day, I want you to focus on 10 to 30 minutes of growth. For me, I was chasing a spiritual journey at this time in my life. So for me, I committed every day to digest the Bible. For me, I'm a Christian. That's important to me. All of you guys might have different things that you're interested in. Listening to a new podcast. I've got a few. One, BDCRX. If you're on the BDC team, you can listen to that every day. That can be helpful. If you want to know a little bit more about entrepreneurship, Matt and I have a podcast called the Ground Up Podcast. You guys can listen to that, but obviously there are a ton of other ones we can do. I can provide you a list of common podcasts I listen to, and we can formulate a total list of things you can do along with books, audiobooks, and other exercises. But I want you guys to commit to every day digesting something of growth, training program, mentorship, everything. 10 to 30 minutes every day you commit to yourself around growth. The last thing we want to focus on in this exercise is grace. So in this grace aspect, I want you to find one thing for the day that you will, or some person that you will provide grace around. That grace might be provided to yourself for doing something you shouldn't have done or not doing something you wanted to do. That grace could be provided to coworkers, bosses, subordinates. It could be provided to anybody you want. And being willing to forgive, being able to grow from that grace is something we would do. So first off, thank you for joining this, listening to this. I'm going to set up a group channel. We're going to set up a community around this. Hopefully you guys are willing to share with me, because I'm going to be doing this with you too. I will be posting my 4Gs in this group chat every single day. I hope you guys are willing to follow.